Welcome back to Scouse Farm. I've got a little, well, what I hope is going to be a tips and tricks video, and this is a friend of mine. She told me that apparently to propagate holly, which you can see there, I've done 2 already, you can hollow out the middle of a small potato or a big potato if you want to put it directly in the ground, but I'm going to test it out in pots. And you can see there we've hollowed out this potato, and then you take a cut in from your holly bush, which, well, you can't see it, but over the front there in my front garden there's a massive hedge of holly, which means I'm fine to try this because it's not going to make a difference to me holly bush, it's that big. But I do want to propagate it because I wouldn't mind putting these in other places because they're brilliant hedges for security. So if you don't want like an unsightly fence or some sort of privet hedge that you have to keep trimming, you do have to keep them under check, but they're great security if you live on the corner like I do, because people don't like brushing past it, or certainly won't want to climb through it because it's very prickly and it hurts. But what I've done is I've took a few cut-ins and I've cut at the bottom just below a leaf node. Hard to zoom in on it, but there was a leaf node right about there, so I've gone quite close to it, just below it. And the reason to do this is just below a leaf node where it's growing, this is a good place to set new roots. And if you want to make a cut in to get something to grow again, it's always good to do it below an active leaf node. So I've pulled that leaf off, that one, that one, that one. I've left 2, and the reason you take the lower leaves off is because the energy you want to go into making roots. But if it does start making roots and you have a load of leaf growth, it's going to struggle to support the leaves. So even 2 might be too much because they're quite big, but I'll test it out anyway. And if it looks a bit dodgy, I'll just take another leaf off. I'll take this one off. And what she told me was you just plonk it in the potato. So I've hollowed out that potato. Try and do this with one hand. Stay still, will you? And just get it to stick in there, and then place it in a pot or wherever you want it to grow. So if you just want to put it in the ground where you want a hedge to develop, test it out that way. And then I'm just going to push it down into this compost. Hopefully this stands up straight. And then, as I say, I've done these 2 already, and then all you do is just fill around it with compost to cover it, and the potato will act as a good source of nutrients to encourage the root to grow, apparently. So we'll see if it works anyway, and if so, I'll be going into industrial production, because these things aren't cheap. When you go to the garden centres, you want to buy a holly starter bush, then if I've got quite a lot, so if I can get this to work and start getting growth, then I might need to use bigger pots. But if I can get this to work, I'll make quite a few of them, and I'll take them round to Tara's tulips wagon and see if she wants to sell them, and we'll split the profit. Right, I'm going to fill up the rest with a bit of compost now. So I'll use what was growing carrots. This is from the recent video about when I harvested the carrots out of this container. So I'll just, for video purposes, I'll just plonk it round this one. Oh, it's a nightmare with one hand. And then I'll do the other 2. You didn't see that. Get in. There you go. In his nice little snug new home. Oh, you know what, it's weird when you're trying to do this looking through the camera and not looking at the plant pot. So I've now switched to looking at the plant pot, and it is much easier. Okay, well, I'll frame this in. I'll do the same with the other 2, and a piece of wood, and then hopefully in a few months or whatever we'll have some more holly. So thank you very much for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And Scouse Farm, we'll see you all again soon.